Good morning to you. I'm Ali Abdel-Aziz. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Holding Hotels Company in Egypt and Tourism. This company is 100% owned by the Egyptian government, and we have 9 hotels company and tourism subsidiary to Hotak that manages hotels, owns hotels. Basically, we own touristic lands all over Egypt, regardless the location, but on the Nile, on the beach, in the city, and they're all owned by Hotak. One of the companies, subsidizing company to me, is Egos, that own these historical hotels.
Now you're launching a new brand as well today at World Travel Market, Historic Hotels of Egypt. Can you tell us a bit about that brand?
The Historical Hotel of Egypt we have launched today here. You are the first one to be that I have the pleasure to have the interview to announce that brand. We have thousands, hundreds of hotels in Egypt, but Historical Hotel of Egypt we only have 9. So it's not the quantity, it is the quality. When we decided to create that brand, we did that after we have spent $260 million of renovation. We have injected this money to bring back these palaces to its glory 120, 130 years ago, where Agatha Christie has stayed, where Aga Khan has stayed, where head of state has stayed, actors, actresses, name it. So we wanted to first have a full restoration on all the hotels, not only renovation, restoration, and this takes time to restore a hotel of 120 years, imagine, so it takes time. So we have gone through the restoration. Then we have decided to say, today we can have that brand, and we launched that brand, Historical Hotel of Egypt. We are not managing hotels. We have international operators who manage us for us, and name it. We have over 10, 11 brand international who manage our portfolio. We are not managing, so this is very clear to everybody.
And you're investing in bringing the properties up to an incredible standard of the old Egyptian palaces.
Yes.
And you're owning the properties.
We own the properties.
But then a company, for example, you have like the Mina House Oberoi, so Trident, for example, would manage that property for you.
Oberoi is managing, not Trident. Trident is a brand, but Oberoi is the luxury brand of the group. So the Mina House that everybody knows, located at the foot of the pyramid of Giza, is managed by the Oberoi. It's not managed by Trident, it's managed by the Oberoi. One thing I can tell you that we are not the only country who has historical hotel. There are many in the world. And our next step is that we will be associated with this kind of luxury and legend hotels group. We will go from all over the world. Then we will be not the luxury, because luxury is different than historic. So we will go in partnership with this historical hotel. This is my second aim that I focus for.
And do you have any countries in particular you'd like to target?
Of course, England. England, for instance, they have beautiful historical hotel. France, Italy, name it, Czechoslovakia. India. You know, so we want to create this kind of group of
almost
hotels.
like an umbrella brand for historic hotels.
And this is where I'm working now. And I'm looking for a very, very professional agent. I have a meeting tomorrow and the day after tomorrow in London to see how we can do that. How can we register that brand? So historic hotels of then England. Then Egypt will be partner with that group, and this will maximize the sales, will identify the brand for legend, and will create a beautiful atmosphere to the travelers. This is how I look at this brand that it's launched today.
Now also Egypt is very much, it's always a classic destination, it's always been incredibly popular, but now in particular, global downturn, it's done very well despite difficulties elsewhere around the world.
As a luxury,
As a destination,
yes.
The number of travellers inbound it's a booming tourism economy.
Well, look, this is definitely, yes, numbers can talk. I look at a different angle. I look at the luxury, at the legend. I look at the experience that the traveler should have when they come to a classical hotel. It's different than a client who comes only to swim at the beach. Of course, it's great. The sun is 350 days a year in Egypt or 340 days in Egypt. But my job, particularly my job, is to identify the classical and the historical hotels, to address this to the world and tell them, come and see Egypt, the ancient of Egypt, through their hotels and experience the service in these hotels and the location. Location is important.
So you have a distinct difference in developing a hotel as a historic hotel rather than just any old luxury hotel. It's a very different process.
It's a very different process because the history of a historical hotel, if you go to a historical hotel, you will see we have developed all the history behind who came in this hotel. We, for instance, Churchill. So we have the photo of Churchill signed by him, staying in this hotel with his cigar. Okay, so this is one example. Montgomery with his Alamein battle he had. So also we have a suite called Montgomery because he stayed at the Oberoi, at the Mina House. Okay, so this is different than luxury. Luxury is different than historical. We are aiming to create that brand, to be associated with other countries under the same brand, changing the country name only, and going through the history of every hotel. So you walk through the place where Agatha Christie has stayed. You go and see her suite. Thomas Cook with his boots, with his cap. We still have them. So, you know, we're trying to keep the history among the areas of the hotels. And we love to have one day a brand called Historical Hotel of Egypt to be developed more when we finish our restoration. We are still ongoing. We have spent $260 million the last 4 years. We are spending another $250 million for the coming 2 years. So $500 million in 6 years to bring back the glory to these hotels.
Okay, Mr. Aziz, thanks very much for joining us today. Congratulations for the launch of your new brand and good luck for the next few years ahead.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.